My name is Danielle, and I've been coming to Northgate as of recent for about a year. I was dedicated as a baby, baptized as a young person, and raised in the community in the Christian home. A few years ago now, I was pregnant back in 2009, and my first little one, and I had a wonderful pregnancy. It was fantastic. Went through all the prenatal screenings, did everything I was supposed to do as a mom-to-be, and had my little boy. And about 7.5 weeks after having him, being home with him, we noticed some abnormalities starting to kind of pop up. And we weren't sure what they were, and I wasn't sure if I was just being paranoid or what the issue was, but it basically landed in the ER with him. And by the time we had gotten to the ER, his mouth was blue. We had no idea what was going on. We were concerned, we were scared, we were anxious. It was just complete chaos. We ended up in the NICU for about 9 months, and just for getting him stabilized, kind of getting answers, just his basic care. In that journey, I felt myself kind of reconnect with God. We finally, after a month of waiting for a diagnosis, we get a diagnosis that basically has a genetic neuromuscular condition that's not curable. Children typically don't make it past 2, if they make it at all out of the hospital. And we're in the family meeting room, and they're telling us what our options are. And at that point, I'm like, this is my child. For better or for worse, I'm doing what I have to do for him. So we made the choice to continue. We had to get him a trach and a G-tube. We took him home 9 months later. In that journey, I've had home nurses, we've had providers, caregivers, specialists, whatever was necessary in our home to take care of our son. And thankfully, he just turned 8 in November. God knew what he was doing the whole time. And it's funny because after over the years now, it's like we all can think alike. We all jump in. If one needs, and so it's amazing. It's kind of brought us all together. And my son is a miracle, and he's beautiful, and it's also given us a different appreciation because we now know that we don't take anything for granted. Every day is a blessing. We may have him for 5 years, we may have him till tomorrow. We don't know. There's no guarantees or absolutes with his diagnosis, but he's continuing to beat the odds one day at a time, and I know that God's there in every moment of that. And I never felt like, even in the absolute crisis and chaos, I've never felt like he abandoned us or left us. I always felt that he was with us. God has done this to me before, I feel like, especially if I haven't been to church in a while. All of a sudden, it's like the message speaks to me, or the music speaks to me, or all of a sudden I'm hearing the announcements and they're talking about Treasure Box. And I literally, my first day back in years, I hadn't been to Northgate in probably 10 plus years. And I hear about this ministry, and I'm like, this is where I need to be. This is where I need to volunteer. I need to be a part of Treasure Box. This is needed in our community. And so to have a place where potentially I could bring him or be a part in helping other families come to church or just have respite if needed. So I thoroughly enjoy and love the Treasure Box, and I'm so glad that our community has that available.